everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to make some zucchini with Italian herbs and tomatoes. Now before I get started, I want to say I'm going to be using zucchini zoodles, ones that I have spiralized, but you don't have to spiralize them. If you don't want to make zoodles or noodles out of your zucchini, you can just cut up the zucchini in bite-sized pieces. The recipe is below and it's written for either way you want to use it. I have my skillet warming up over just above medium heat. I am going to be using about a tablespoon of olive oil here to saute some vegetables. If you prefer not to use the oil, you can use vegetable stock or even water if you want. But because the zucchini produces a lot of liquid on its own, be careful not to use too much liquid or you might have some very mushy zucchini by the time you're done. So just letting you know that up front. We're going to use about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil here. And again, if you're using broth, it evaporates a lot quicker. You might want to go with no more than 3 tablespoons and just wing it from there. All right, from here, we have 1/3 cup of diced onion. I have red onion here. Yellow onion is fine. This just happens to be what I have on hand. So this is what I'm using for the day, so I can use up my red onion. And we're going to saute this for just a minute or two, just until it starts to cook. It does not have to be overly cooked and overly soft or caramelized or anything like that. Just want to soften it up a little bit. But the onion is starting to soften, so we're going to go forward from there. I've got 2 cloves of garlic that I have chopped up. These are pretty good sized cloves. Now this recipe is really flexible. You can adjust the seasonings, you can adjust the amount of zucchini any way you need to make it right for you. Now with the garlic in there, it does tend to burn easily, so we're not going to let it go for very long, no more than 1 minute. I just lowered the heat just a little bit so that it's right at medium. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir in some seasonings here. I have 1/2 teaspoon each of dried basil, parsley, and oregano. I'm just going to go ahead and get them in the pan here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, I have 3 cups of spiralized zucchini. This is 2 small zucchini. And again, this is totally flexible. You're not going to wind up with the exact same amount that I do because I don't think any 2 zucchinis are exactly the same size. So, bearing that in mind, this is totally flexible. And I'm just going to try to stir this up a little bit. And then we're going to sprinkle some salt and pepper on here to taste. And we're going to saute this zucchini for no more than a minute. You really, or actually no more than 2 minutes. A minute is usually enough. You want to do this just until the zucchini starts to soften, because as soon as it does, it's going to start releasing juices of its own, and it will be kind of juicy, but the longer you let it sit in the heat, the more juicy it's going to be, and you don't want it like totally juiced out. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment, sprinkle some salt and pepper. Not a lot of pepper left in this grinder. We'll get what we can out of it. And keep stirring it. It's just barely starting to soften up. And you see, I don't like to waste anything. I do have the ends of the spiralized zucchini in there. Why not? Just use it all. If you really don't want to use it, you can throw it out, but it's edible. I can't see tossing it. This is why we have to be careful about not putting too much broth in here, because you'll have zucchini soup if you're not careful with it. And it's starting to slow down. I have not lowered the heat anymore, and that tells me the zucchini is starting to soften up and cook, and it's starting to release juices, as you can tell. What I'm going to do at this point, because I'm just about ready to turn it off, I have 10 grape tomatoes that I've sliced in half. And all I really want to do is warm the tomatoes. This is so flexible. You can use all the tomatoes you want. You can leave them out if you really want to, but I think they add a nice flavor to the dish. So you can see the zucchini are starting to get nice and soft. I'm going to turn the heat off. And now I have the juice. This is another reason not to add too much liquid to this. The juice of 1/2 of a lemon here. Now you can adjust this to your taste. You can add more, you can add less, or you can leave that out if you really want to. But I like the lemon juice in there because it does add a brightness to the flavor. Takes out any bitterness that might be in that zucchini. And this is it. We are done. It is done. See how short that is? I'm going to plate it up so you can see what it looks like. If you really want to, you can garnish this with some Parmesan cheese, and that would just give it a nice flair. And here's our finished dish. Now, how many servings this makes is totally up to you, whether it's a large portion to go with some other part of a meal or just a small bit of a side dish for something. I mean, it can make up to, I'd say, about 4 side dish servings, or 1 or 2 main dish. Throw a protein in there with it and you've got a full meal. Give this a try sometime and let me know how it works for you. The recipe is below. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. Bye for now.